ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we see, after hearing from the Devatas, including Indra and others who have approached Lord Brahma for a solution, after the associates of Lord Shiva caused so much disturbance in the arena of sacrifice, so much so that Daksha had to pay for by giving up his life. So all these Devatas, they have approached Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma hears all that what has happened, and it was also revealed. Lord Brahma knew what is going to happen in that arena. Why he knew? Because he knew they have not invited Lord Shiva for this great sacrifice. Similarly, as Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, he also knew what is going to unfold. So they did not go. But later on, after all these problems have happened, all the Devatas they have approached, and in detail they explained whatever happened, whatever incident happened in that sacrificial area. So after hearing, Lord Brahma immediately pointed out their mistakes. See, the difference between Devatas and Asuras is that when pointed out, the Devatas or the devotees, they accept their mistakes and they try to rectify their mistake. The Asuras, on the other hand, they do not accept their mistakes. Rather than trying to rectify their mistakes, they justify their mistakes. So there is a lot of difference between how, when one is corrected, one takes. We see the example in the case of even Indra. Indra, when Hiranyakashipu had gone for performing tapasya in order to satisfy Lord Brahma, to become immortal, the Devatas took advantage of his absence and created a havoc in that place. So much so that they arrested Kayadu wife of Hiranyakashipu. And Indra, along with the others, were dragging her. And at that time, Narada appears in that place. So Narada immediately chastises Indra, points out his mistake. And he asks him, how are you doing this? Why are you taking away Kayadu? So, Indra replies that actually it is not that I want to do some harm to Kayadu. I am only thinking about the seed of demon, of that Asura, which she is bearing in her womb. And as soon as that child is born, I want to finish off that child. So this was his plan. But then Narada appraised him of the reality and said, my dear Indra, you do not know that in her womb it is not the seed of an Asura. It is a great devotee of the Lord. And even if you try, I don't think you will be able to kill him. Because the pure devotees of the Lord, they are protected by Lord Vishnu himself. So better you should forego and leave Kayadu. After hearing this, all the demigods and Indra and his assistants, all of them immediately paid their obeisances, circumambulated Prahlad Maharaj, who was in the womb of Kayadu, and they paid obeisances to him. So we can find this is the difference between the devotees or sadhus or devatas and asuras, sura and asura. That sura, Prabhupada points this out, very important thing. Suras or the devotees, when they are pointed of their mistake, they accept their mistake. They accept their mistake and immediately they take action to rectify their mistakes. On the other hand, if to an Asura his mistakes are pointed out, just like Prahlad Maharaj was pointing out the mistakes of Hiranyakashipu, his own father, who was an Asura. But then the example is given, if you give good advice to a fool, he becomes angry. It is just like if you feed bananas or milk to a snake, his poison increases. It is not that he becomes benefited. So similarly, those who are not having that devotional understanding, they do not accept their mistake even if they are pointed out. They will not rectify, they will justify their mistakes. They will justify that. No, it's not a mistake, it is your mistake. So, this is the difference we find. So, we will find that Brahmaji immediately pointed out the mistakes of these devatas. that. What did you plan? You planned to conduct a great sacrifice. For what? For your prosperity, for material happiness, and whatever. But then you did a great mistake. You have offended the lotus feet of a great personality. How can you be happy by offending his lotus feet? And you are thinking that this yajna is going to give out some kind of good results to you. You can see the result, devastation, only chaos. Where is your happiness? Where is the question of your happiness? So, Lord Brahma immediately pointed out their mistake. This is also very essential for a superior. He should point out the mistakes of his subordinates. It is his duty. And it is the duty of the subordinate to accept their mistakes when it is pointed out. So this is a very, very important difference between suras and asuras. A devotee, when he is pointed out of his mistake, he humbly accepts it, begs forgiveness, and tries to rectify his mistakes so that he does not repeat it in the future. Asura, on the other hand, when he is pointed out of his mistake, he will never accept. He will become more angry and he will try to not rectify but justify his mistakes. So this is the difference. And very shrewdly, Brahmaji is sharing his experience. What should be done now to make the whole situation proper? How to rectify the situation? Daksha has lost his life. Many others have lost so many things. How to rectify this whole situation? So this you can see, an experienced person like Brahma, he can point out the mistakes and at the same time he can also give a solution to that mistake. It is very easy to point out, but it is very difficult to give a solution. And everybody, you have done like this, you have done like this. Okay, then you give a solution, no, what should be done? Isn't it? If you are not able to give a solution, why point out a mistake? This also we should remember. You have no solution, then why you point out? Isn't it? Those who are experienced, those who are advanced, not only they can point out the mistake, they can give a solution for that mistake, how to rectify that, because of their advancement in spiritual life. This is the meaning, this is the understanding of Shastra Chakshu. We act because of our limited understanding. The great personalities act as per the direction of Shastras. This is how we find even Lord Krishna, he tested Arjuna. How is he going to act? Whether he is going to act whimsically, he wants to take some revenge from Ashwathama. Ashwathama has killed his children. Isn't it? Draupadi's children. And now Arjuna has caught the culprit. What is he going to do? And Lord Krishna is telling that he is standing right before you. Now you act. See? So out of whims, there was a possibility that Arjuna could have immediately chopped off his head. But he did not do that. He knew that even if a Brahmana has killed my children, it does not befit me to kill a Brahmana, son of a Brahmana. He is son of my spiritual master, Dronacharya. It does not befit me to kill him. So for a Brahmana, if he has committed a mistake, there is a different kind of punishment. And that is what he insulted Ashwathama by chopping off his hairs of his head and not chopping off his head itself. And that is an appropriate punishment which was given. And Krishna, he was pleased by the action of Arjuna. Similarly, we find Mother Draupadi did not act whimsically out of some kind of revenge for Ashwathama. When practically like an animal, Ashwathama was bound and Draupadi was asked. Rather, Draupadi said that better leave him, because I can understand the pain of a mother who loses her children. I know that pain. I do not want to inflict the same pain upon mother of Ashwathama. She has already lost her husband, and now I should inflict more pain upon him by taking away the life of his son also. I cannot inflict that pain. So, this is how persons who are advanced in spiritual knowledge, they act. So, this is the difference we can find. So, Lord Brahma is very experienced, very advanced in spiritual understanding. Not only he could understand immediately what is the mistake they have committed, he immediately gave a solution, what you should do. So he said that great personalities like Lord Shiva, they are very easily pleased. And especially Lord Shiva, he is called Ashutosh. Ashutosh means one who can be very easily satisfied. You see. So this is what we can understand. In the material world, to satisfy a person is very difficult. If you have been inimical to someone, I don't think even if he gives up his whole life also, surrenders unto you, bows down and says, my dear sir, very sorry I did this. Still very difficult for us to forgive. Correct? Very difficult. Our whole life we cannot forgive him. But for a great personality, it is very easy for him to forgive. He becomes satisfied with little repentance on the part of an offender, that he has realized his mistake, and he becomes immediately satisfied and forgives him. This understanding Lord Brahma had. Another point is, great personalities do not immediately take offenses. It is perpetually a person like an Daksha, who is a perpetual offender, he took offense. Otherwise, Lord Shiva does not take offenses so easily. Great personalities, the minor mistakes of the people, they forget and they forgive you. This is a quality of a Vaishnava. But here is a case of a perpetual offender. How many times Daksha has offended? And it is for his rectification Just like Prabhupada gives the example, when a king is punishing an offender, a murderer, by killing him, it is a mercy shown to him. And that should be done. So Daksha giving up his life is a mercy upon him, because with that same body, he would have kept offending more and more. So it was required that he stops his offenses. So this is another quality of a great personality, that even a sign of little remorse, even a sign of little repentance from an offender, a great personality immediately forgives him. And when somebody commits an offense towards him, he does not take it very seriously. Just like even Amrish Maharaj did not take that offense seriously at all of Durvasa. He did not take it seriously. It was Lord himself who took it very seriously, not Amrish Maharaj himself. A devotee does not take an offense committed against him very seriously. Here, the reason given is why Shiva is upset was that his dear wife, who was innocent completely, she had to give up her life because of the mistake of Daksha. That is what he is analyzing, Lord Brahma is analyzing. That, and over and above the unkind words which were spoken by Daksha. Just like we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he pointed out to Amogha, he said, this heart is meant for placing Krishna. It should be clean. It should not be dirty with enviousness. So similarly, Lord Shiva, he is very compassionate, and he is seeing that Daksha's heart is so hard. It is filled with so much rubbish. It is filled with so much offenses. That is what pained Lord Shiva. Not that he is taking an offense upon himself. He is compassionate upon Daksha's condition. How unfortunate Daksha is. That is what upset Lord Shiva. So, Brahmaji is advising what they should do. So Brahmaji is also giving another very important reasoning. That, my dear sirs, you're all thinking, one offense we have committed, something we have committed to Lord Shiva, isn't it? You did not know how powerful Lord Shiva is. He can destroy all the three worlds immediately. Somebody who is so powerful, you have no jurisdiction to find faults with him. You can find fault with somebody ordinary. And he is saying, Lord Brahma is saying, even I cannot understand the powers of Lord Shiva. He is saying, in today's verse he is saying, I cannot understand, you cannot understand, Indra cannot understand. None of us can understand, these great sages cannot understand how powerful he is and how to satisfy him. We have no idea. Only course left for us is that these great personalities, somehow or other, if we just surrender unto them, immediately they will forgive. So just do this. Go there, fall at his feet, and immediately surrender. And definitely, Lord Shiva will forgive. So, this is another important lesson which we should learn. That somebody who is much, much superior than us, we have no rights. It is not our duty to find fault with our superiors. Isn't it? So, very importantly, what Prabhupada is mentioning in today's verse, if you see, a subordinate should be surrendered to the Supreme. And Prabhupada is comparing that how Lord Shiva is superior to all of these devatas. So it befits them to immediately go and surrender. And immediately he will give all protection, whatever is required. As Krishna also says, it is for our benefit. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarve papebhyo mokshashyami ma shucha. Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayers to Lord Narsimha, points out something very, very important. He says, when we are surrendering or when we are glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like all these devatas before me, Brahma, all of these great personalities, they offered their different kinds of prayers to Lord Narsimha to pacify him. Unfortunately, they were not able to pacify him. So, all these different prayers one offers, or we surrender to the Supreme Lord, or we serve Him. It is not for the benefit of the Supreme Lord. He is Nijalabha Purna. He doesn't require in reality, but out of love for His devotees, He accepts. And if He accepts, it is for the benefit of one who is offering. It is with that compassion the Lord is saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. It is not that He is lacking some servant and He is canvassing, all of you, please surrender. He is completely satisfied in Himself. It is not that by our prayers He will become more glorified. He is already glorified. We glorify, we don't glorify, He is still glorified. That we should understand first of all. But if we glorify Him, we become benefited. How? Prahlad Maharaj gives an example. Mukhashri. He says, if you decorate your face, your reflection doesn't require to be decorated separately. It will automatically become decorated. So we being a kind of a reflection of the Supreme Lord, His part and parcel. If we satisfy Him, if we glorify Him, our life becomes glorified. We become satisfied by satisfying Him. We become benefited. So, this is what Brahmaji is explaining. That actually none of us can understand the depth of greatness of Lord Shiva, how powerful He is. But yes, we all understand that He is very merciful. He becomes very easily satisfied. So if we just without reservation just go and surrender unto His lotus feet, immediately the whole situation will become rectified. And we see later on this is what is going to happen. Brahmaji, along with all these devatas, they approach Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma, he very nicely glorifies Lord Shiva. And it is not that he is reminding him, but it is a prayer to him that how Lord Shiva, who is in one sense non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being one of the expansions of the Lord of different kind, how he is having the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a great personality like him understands that out of ignorance, when a living entity is creating different kinds of offenses, it is out of his ignorance. Just like Prabhupada gives an example. He says the doctor, he has to be tolerant and he has to be merciful at the same time. These qualities devotees should have. Tolerance and still be merciful. Tolerant means somebody is blaspheming you, somebody is criticizing you, be tolerant and still be merciful towards him. Prabhupada gives an example. A mad patient, he is sometimes going and hitting the doctor, isn't it? He creates chaos in the hospital. If doctor becomes angry at that patient, what will be the condition? What can patient derive? Is it possible that he can be cured? Isn't it? So doctor has to be tolerant and he has to be still merciful towards the patient. Then it is possible. So similarly, Vaishnavas should learn this quality of forgiveness as well as tolerance. So we forgive if somebody has committed some offenses, we tolerate and still we are merciful and we forgive their offenses so that they can advance in their spiritual life. So we will see more of such beautiful instructions as we go further. Srila Prabhupada ki